That's always a good thing. Hey, welcome. I forgot who I was. Tammy and Danae. Yeah, that's it. Hey, it's been a day already. Welcome to our first podcast of Warrior Women. Today, we are doing one called You Are Enough. That's something that Danae and I worked really hard with ladies and ourselves when we were doing the photography. And I don't know about you, but I still struggle with that.
Oh, every day.
So
all day, every day.
You know, the deal with You Are Enough is learning to self-acceptance, embracing our self-worth, and combating the feeling of inadequacy. That pretty much sums up. We could almost end the podcast, but recently I stepped out into the workforce for a very brief amount of time, and yes, I've been working, with photography, self-employed for like 17 years. So it was my first real job outside of self-employment in years. And it was an experience. I can't say it was a pleasant one.
That's tougher than me. I could do
it. I had one lady come up to me within under 2 weeks of starting. And she looked at me and she goes, I don't like you. I'm never going to like you. So leave me alone. And that was kind of how it went from the get-go. It was very cliquish and they didn't like me. They didn't want me there. And it was hard to deal with. I was determined not to let it drag me down. But then I realized it was dragging me down. But then when the boss called me into her office to, what would you call it, critique my probationary period?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know what it was. Anyway, I was told that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. I was trying too hard and I wasn't getting it. I mean, it was just, I was trying too hard, but it wasn't good enough. And all I heard was, you're not good enough. Yeah, it made Danae mad. I asked if they were firing me. And she goes, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I thought I was doing good. So I don't know. I'm speechless right now. And so they didn't fire me that day. And we rocked on for another 2 or 3 weeks. And I still liked the job. Can't say the people were very good because, I could have trained these people with customer service and politeness and still gotten their job done. But I don't know about you guys, but being told you're not good enough, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
That those words echo.
No matter how long it's been.
And they're still echoing in my head, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter how long it's been since that happened. I still hear it. And I mean, I was yelled at, I was talked down to, I was belittled, and I was let go because I wasn't good enough. But I don't know, that being let go was, it happens, but it was the words, you're not good enough. And they really affected me.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I knew I wanted to bring awareness to women, even guys. I'm sure guys have issues with this too. I don't think we women are in it by ourselves. But Danae and I, we've gone through a lot of changes in the last few months, last year. But we started talking and we decided it was time for this podcast. And so out of the thoughts and the talks and the negativity in my own brain and the self-worth struggle that I was now going through, that
It's like PTSD.
yeah, PTSD.
It comes back
And
from
the
stuff we try to fix
yeah.
and heal from.
And so we talked, we decided it's time. We've talked for years about doing the podcast. We just never thought we'd get around to doing it. What do we have to offer that someone wants to listen to? And then
listen to us be goofy too.
Yeah, there's going to be that. We are goofy, and if you've ever had a photo shoot with us, you know that. And but look at us. We put makeup on for this today. I had to remember how to put makeup on this morning. So I can't say my makeup's sponsored by anybody because I'm not sure what brands were in that. And I'm sure it's been so long, I'm sure I need to buy new because my makeup probably isn't good enough. Hope my face doesn't break out. But, you are good enough. You are good enough. I am good enough. Despite what people...
Be reminded.
Yes.
That's what we're here for.
We forget. And I'm struggling there's so many thoughts I want to get out. But with this podcast, it's, at this point, it's, Warrior Women, that name's not going to change. I'm using, because, and people have asked why the semicolon and not the I on Warrior. No, I'm not suicidal. She's not suicidal. Have we thought about things? Have we had dark thoughts? Yes. And so we decided, what is a semicolon in the English grammar, the punctuation? It's a pause and the story continues. And this is our new story. Yes, I have also, we're doing some modifications with the studio, so it's getting reopened. And some workshops and classes are coming with that. But this is part of our new story. We want to tell people on our Winning Wednesdays with Warrior Women, because we're going to,
because we're all different.
Yes.
Everybody's different. And we want everybody to realize they're different.
Right. We can't compare ourselves and see I can't look at what Janae is doing and go, oh, I need to do that. That's not me. And same with her. We can't look at each other and we can't look at the person down the street or up the street or that looks like they have it made and be down on ourselves. Because, we were all created different. Which is a good thing. Yes. Can you imagine how boring it would be if we
oh yeah. We've had long podcast.
So this podcast, it will be streaming on several platforms. And we will have it set to be on our website as well. So everybody should be able to access it either with just listening to us or the actual video of it. And if we hit the buttons right, you're actually hearing us. So this is a learning curve. But when you think of you are enough, what do you think about?
Like just me?
Well, you're the one that reminded me. Oh, and our next podcast will be don't let the mean girls win, because that's what she kept telling me. Danae kept telling me that over and over while I was struggling.
It don't matter how old you are, there's mean girls.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
But the two things that she kept telling me as I was struggling to regain my self-confidence, my belief in myself, were you are enough, you are good enough, and don't let the mean girls win. And so, but when you hear I'm enough, so I mean, that's I can tell anybody that. But what I have to do is I have to stand in front of a freaking mirror. I have to stand in front of a mirror a lot and remind myself and look at myself and say, I am enough. I am good enough. I am worth what God did for me. I am worth it. And I can go forward. I can build a new studio. I can overcome this knee injury. I can do it. I am enough. And speaking of my knee, I climbed the ladder yesterday. Yeah, today wasn't here to stop me. But I climbed the ladder for the first time in over a year. I did it repeatedly. And it may not be a lot to some people. I only went on one backdrop. I only stepped up 2 steps on the step ladder repeatedly to get this thing put up there, stapled up there, and level or even or whatever. So it wasn't going like that. And then the other one, when I was putting it up and gluing it up, which the glue was good. I know. But I had to climb all the way to the top. And that was 3 steps repeatedly. And my knee let me do it and didn't fall down. And I'm walking today still. I may be sore tomorrow, but it happened. And and I've been really frustrated over my leg, over this recovery, because it has been a nightmare. What should have been a simple knee replacement was rough. And so, no, I didn't feel like I was enough for a lot of this last year. That's one of the reasons that the studio shut down. One of the reasons I just tried to get a job and just get a steady paycheck, is I didn't feel like I could do what I was supposed to be doing. And, we've closed everything. We are in our lovely backdrop back here. This is our wedding room, by the way, ladies. Got a little close, but we y'all may not know, Danae and I are both ordained ministers, so we can do weddings. We do, I like to call them simple weddings, and we like people to come to us. We have gone on location and done a few weddings. So, if anybody's thinking about getting married because they are enough, holler at us. We'll get you hitched and legalized. There was that one time we almost didn't get somebody legalized because somebody ended up in the hospital, but the other person happened to find the marriage license and get it filed.
Got it filed.
So, but, society, TV, social media, they kind of fuel the fact that we aren't good enough. They make you look at, do you ever see these people really working on TV? They always they're going out to the best restaurants, they're going out to or their lifestyle. It's unrealistic. But yet we look at it. Sometimes I can say I'm watching TV just to escape. But at the same time, you watch it and
wonder what it'd be like.
Yeah. And then we're like, oh, well, I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I can't do what they're doing. And you're wrong. Because what TV is showing us is wrong. What social media, women who are putting pictures of themselves on Facebook with their filters and, y'all see me. I've got makeup on. I am me. And
there'll be plenty of episodes they'll see us with no makeup on.
I really did have to remember how things went this morning. I don't like makeup anymore. I think personally, I think it makes me look older.
Yes.
And so I'd rather do without.
That's the way.
But I was watching a TV program a few months back. It was an older one. It's one, actually, I think it's still going. I don't want to name it, say what it is, because I'm sure a lot of people still like it. But I couldn't figure out what I was going through. And these relationships on this show were so dysfunctional. And this TV show, I had to stop watching it. I was binge watching on like Netflix or Hulu. And sorry, I'm not sponsoring any of those, but streaming services. But it affected me mentally. And it's true, garbage in, garbage out. And I'm sorry, I'm the talker, and Danae sits there and looks beautiful. So, but we cannot compare ourselves to others. You are enough. That's the big thing.
Just you.
And you don't need fancy cars. You don't need a fancy job. You don't need a fancy title. I used to think, hey, I can get business cards for wherever, and that'll make me feel worthy. Or that nameplate on my desk would make me feel worthy. I mean, those were exciting things back in the day. And they didn't make anything any different.
No.
Then along comes Danae and she starts fixing my fingernails. If she could see my fingernails, like broken ones. So they are my fall colors, y'all. And eventually she's gonna have time to redo them, because yesterday I might have gotten a whole lot of spray glue on them, and then I had to take a whole lot of other stuff to get all that off. I was sticking to myself. But the new studio is coming along. Pretty exciting. It was pretty overwhelming yesterday. I battled rage yesterday. I thought instead of doing a studio, I was just going to start a rage room, because there was a piece of furniture in here that I couldn't move by myself. And had my dad not called and found out that I was fixing to get the sledgehammer to it, it would have just been in a pile of rubble, because I was going to get the sledgehammer and Dad got someone down here to move it. And I'm serious, I was rage room. And as soon as that thing was out of here, my whole attitude changed. But it was like, I don't know, that thing was making me mad every time I looked at it. So sorry, Mom, but your China hutch was almost a pile of rubble yesterday. Rage room. So, we all have rage, but we're still enough. And I have notes right here that I keep cheating on. But you can call it the comparison trap when you compare yourself. If I'm comparing myself to Danae, or she's comparing herself to me, or the lady across the street, don't do that to yourself. We cannot compare ourselves to others. I obviously didn't do good in the job I tried to do, but possibly my job there was to pray for these people and to show myself where I was supposed to be doing. And I didn't even go to church for a few weeks. I had to spend time alone. It was a tough time. And I was really shocked at how it affected me when I thought that I had overcome anger and lack of self-confidence. And
it comes back.
Man, did it come back.
That's what we're here to talk about. It don't go away.
It doesn't go away. It does come back.
But you can't let it take control.
Right. And if it hadn't been for Danae, I think it would have taken control. She let me have my pity party, and she dragged me out of that sucker.
You gotta let them have that.
But she pulled me out of it, kicking and screaming. She made me see, I am worthy. I am enough.
She's done so much. She don't even realize it.
I don't see it.
She's done so many things. It's unreal.
The one thing that, yesterday's accomplishment was
I'm
big
not
for me.
talking about yesterday.
I know, but being able to climb that ladder was a big thing. The self-control and not put the
Yeah.
sledgehammer to the China hutch was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I told Dad, I was like, I'm taking the sledgehammer to this thing, and he goes, I'll call somebody. I'll call you right back.
It's funny.
Oh, yeah, the flies. We got rid of them, and now they're back. So, but yeah, we can't compare ourselves. And then he's trying to get rid of flies. I'm trying to get and we can't let others define our self-worth.
I'm like it.
Well, I don't either.
I'm like, oh,
Try editing them out in photos. Remember that?
I never could learn to edit. It was too hard for
It'd be
me.
so funny. And then someone get their picture goes, oh, I think that's a fly on my leg. Oh crap, I thought it was a mole.
Oh, we bleep stuff out here. Hit something on that box to point that out.
Oh no, we got this cute little box. We don't know what to do with it, but it says eliminate. We could change our voice. Oh, here, a giggle. Y'all don't have to listen to mine. Let's see what this does. Y'all will have to tell us what it did. Okay, I'm gonna hit the giggle button again. Did it giggle? Oh, wait, here, kiss.
It was like a little
And cheer. Yes. We'll get all these kinks worked out. But, I'm going to try to read. I left my glasses at the other desk over here.
I always got some.
Well, I usually do. When you're defining your self-worth, what would be things that you would think of as your self-worth? Well, what do you think would make your self-worth better?
Better?
Well,
I was nicer.
Please, you're the nicest person I know.
Oh no, I've got
But I mean,
got kind of recluse, I guess, worse than I've ever been.
I'm going to get her back out of that. But a lot of people, I'd say the majority of us, they define their self-worth with external achievements. Oh, I graduated high school. I graduated college. I have a master's. I have a PhD. I have whatever, or by the things they wear, the makeup, the brands. It's, they're defining their self-worth externally,
Right.
Instead of our self-worth is an internal thing. We have to, I don't want to say you can't, but if we're struggling with our self-worth, sometimes we try to be people pleasers. And if someone is rude to us or doesn't say hi to us, we immediately think they're mad at us. Well, what did I do wrong? Why don't they like me? And, and I have to say, with this job, I didn't really care that they didn't like me. I was there to do the job. I really didn't care that they didn't like me. But eventually it just got to the point, it makes for a 12-hour work day, a really long, work day. I spent a lot of time praying for them, but self-worth, you may think that you have to be perfect. But you don't. I heard this several years ago, and I have like several offices where I will end up at different times of the day or the week. But on the wall of one of my other offices, at the real estate office, I have this little card, and it says, done, not perfect. And it's kind of, have to remind myself, it's not perfect. It may not be perfect because we aren't perfect. But I got the job done. Yes, I hung some backdrops yesterday. They're not perfect, but they're done. And I did it. And when I get finished with it, they're going to look great. Unless you look too high and see how I glued it on the wall.
Don't look at that.
Don't measure, don't put a level on things. But but it's done. It's not perfect.
And it doesn't have to be.
But I felt good because I did it.
Right.
And we can't, so you play basketball. I did years ago, but I spent more time on the ground than I did anywhere else. But you can't compare, or baseball, any sport. Don't compare yourselves to those pro athletes. You may be better than them. There's no doubt about that in a lot of cases. It's just an opportunity knocked for these people. There's same with singers, actors. They were in the right place at the right time, or they struggled, whatever you want to call it. They were there when opportunity knocked. But it doesn't make you any less, is what I'm getting at. I still deal with dry mouth, sorry. And so when you start working on, I am enough. Now, I'm serious. I stand in front of a mirror and I don't like to stand in front of a mirror. And I sure don't like to stand in front of a mirror without my clothes on. After, yeah, things aren't where they used to be. But some of mine are surgically in another spine. What was it? It'll be almost 5 years ago when I had all those surgeries. And I ended up with that ileostomy. So when that was being removed, I begged the doctor to leave my belly button. And he did. But it's no longer in the center of my abdomen or my stomach or wherever of my belly. It's in the middle of the left side. So, I'm not perfect. And I have a lot of scars.
That's okay.
I'm alive.
It's good. Exactly.
I shouldn't be. I should have died. And my doctor tells me that all the time. But so I used to just have stretch marks. Now I have this roadmap to I don't know where, because there's a lot of scars. But I'm proud of the scars, but at the same time, I still struggle with it. I don't want somebody seeing my scars. I don't, they're a sign of overcoming and that I was enough and I fought my way back. But then they're a sign of imperfection. And I have to remind myself I was never perfect anyway. And, you don't
have to be perfect to be enough.
Exactly. And I have to remind myself of that. And that's why we're here. We're not here because we always think we are enough. We're not saying that by any means. But Danae and I have created our support system. And on the days she's down, I'm here. Vice versa. Seems like recently it's been me turning to her more than her turning to me. I'm just about
waiting to mine bills.
Yeah, she waits until she blows. And I think I blew yesterday. I wanted a padded cell. That might have been the day before. But it had nothing to do with my self-worth. I just wanted a padded cell. Wanted to hurt myself then. But so yes, we are warrior women. We have fought back from the brink of everything life has thrown at us. We haven't quit. We've kept going. And that's the important thing, is to keep going, keep fighting, I don't want to use the title of our other one, but don't let the mean girls win, but in looking in that mirror, say to yourself, I am enough. And list your talents, your I am statements. I am beautiful inside and out. I am this, I am that. And it's hard to do when you're trying to think of the positives for yourself. But you have to. I mean, we worked with a lot of women, and the photo shoots would help them. And we got to tell them things. You were determined to get those flies. Just like my cat stalking them. So, but this week on your Winning Wednesday with Warrior Women, write down, get a journal.
That helps.
Mm-hmm.
I have a notebook handy all the time.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I don't keep what I wrote down because I'm afraid somebody will find it if I die.
Oh, mine are just little notes. Mine don't make no sense. I didn't understand.
and so, but the notebook, it does, because you can write down what you're feeling, and then you can write down the positives to overcome and fight those feelings.
And sometimes you write it down and you want that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just writing it down lets that, because I've done.
Yeah, you're right. It's,
if you don't feel like it's something you can say out loud to somebody, wrote it down and wadded up, throw the trash. Then I've let it out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because we hold these things in, and the more we hold it in, the sicker it makes us.
Yes.
And so, yes, we have to get it out. We have to say those, write it down, say it in the mirror, have an accountability partner, and the one thing that she and I have struggled with is saying negative things out loud about ourselves. And, I'll say something and she'll call me on it every time. We're not allowed to say that. And, I've said,
I say it about myself all the time.
Yeah, because I don't hear you anymore.
No.
But we can't, I've caught myself a lot lately, trying to say the negatives, and, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm worthless, I have no talent. I mean, when you,
all the bad words,
I know, but when you start feeling like you aren't enough, and you allow those thoughts in, they can destroy you. And it doesn't take long. It's quicker for it to drag you down than it is to get back up. And it takes a whole lot more to get back up. But, so a journal daily, highly recommend. But if you can start off weekly with our podcast of you are enough, you are worthy, you are good. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be perfect. Done, not perfect. There was only one perfect person on this earth, and I wasn't it.
We're only human. What's that one saying? We're just a meat suit.
I can't remember how that goes.
I seen it in the doctor's office.
But, so what do you most value about yourself? Come on. What do you value about yourself?
I never can. She always puts me on the spot.
I do. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
I don't have anything that was important, I don't think.
And if I had to say, what do I value about myself? I really don't know.
See?
But at the same time, I know that I am outgoing and I'm gregarious with things, but I've been told that I talk too loud. So she's going
I'm
nuts
too
over
quiet.
here, and she's quiet, and but I don't want to have to do this podcast without her because I need somebody to pick on.
And then every once in a while I can think of something to say.
But I can look at her. This girl is talented. She is loyal and honest. She will tell you how she feels about you, but you never have to worry if she's got your back or not. She's there. And I want to be like that. I want more of those qualities within myself. No, I'm not saying I'm not good enough, but she's got qualities that I admire that I want more of. And, it's just like figuring out what makes you unique and different from someone else. Well, she's quiet and I'm loud. And I've been told, I've been accused of yelling, and, you get accused of all these different things because you talk loud. You get beaten down pretty quick.
Yeah. But to me, I don't consider you loud.
Thank you.
But everybody's tone, like, I don't know how to, to me, you're not loud. It's just your voice. And mine's always soft and yours is
loud.
It's not loud. Not loud.
I'm loud.
I don't know.
And then I hear my cackles. I watched some of our old videos.
None of us want to hear our own voice. I dread listening to this when we're done. I dread it.
I don't mind listening to what is it? I've heard people say their voice sounds like cornbread. Years and years ago, I was a DJ. And everybody's, so that part doesn't, but what I hear in mine and Danae's videos a lot is my laugh, which is usually a cackle. And, and it's like, oh my gosh, I cackle. And so, that makes me unique because I cackle. But, I'm not ashamed of cackling. I'm not ashamed of being loud, really. I can holler across the room. People still can't hear me, but, it happens. I've reached out to some friends through all this downtime. And, one of them recently, I hadn't seen them in years, but reminded me that I was talented, that I was beautiful, that I was sincere, and that I had all of this going for me. And I couldn't let the negativity of others drag me down. Of course, I'd already let that drag me down. So, but remember that you don't have to be perfect.
Yep.
Perfectionism is a myth, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
And
I don't know. We think people are perfect when we look at them, but you don't know what.
We don't know behind the scenes.
No, it's not. I don't know anybody that's perfect.
And, people put on this facade because we don't want anyone reaching in and seeing behind the veil. For me, y'all have seen so much of me over the years. I've talked about it, or if I haven't talked about it, I'm sure I will on this. Or you might hear repeats of, and yes, I have those spots and things on my arms from my deaf Great Dane. This is his way of saying hello. I guess I put them in the kennels or something because I don't hear them in there. But like this last year has been real hard on me financially. And I've had a hard time not comparing myself or not thinking I'm not enough. We've had to create an apartment back, here at the studio again. And it's been tough. It's been real tough with 3 Great Danes. And then just everything I went through with my leg. So I have fought and clawed, and I thought getting a job in the real world was going to be the answer. Everyone else got a paycheck, gets a paycheck for working, 9 to 5 or swing shifts or shift work or whatever. So why not me? But it wasn't me. So, but be authentic with yourself. My motto years ago was fake it till you make it. So I wasn't being honest with myself. I was faking life. I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to deal with anything. And, life is
tough.
Well, what was that saying we used to, life's a bitch and then you die?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say that, but
it's tough.
It is not, it's not easy. And so, but we have to, I encourage you and I encourage us to be authentic with ourselves. We're not going to be perfect, but you can get it done. You can, one day you might like something else about yourself more than you did the other. But the more you can, our self-talk takes us a long way, because if we're talking down to ourselves, what are you going to do? I mean, when you talk negative to yourself, what does it do?
It makes me like, we're out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say the word.
Proud of her. I was going to say something too. But
it's not good.
So
you don't want to get up, and you don't want to take a shower, and you don't want to. What good is that going to do? Taking a shower, fixing your hair, or washing your hair,
and yeah. So negative self-talk, and we have to change that. And it's easier to talk negative to ourselves. And it's such a habit.
I can do it all day, but when she says it, it's like,
I know, and I'm the same way with her. But that's why I say you need an accountability partner. Sometimes I think we just need good boxing gloves. We can just box each other.
I know. One of the things on the wall.
So I've only seen that video that you sent me. It was really cool.
Really cool.
That's why we have talked about the rage room seriously, but I figured we'd run out of things to rage with, and
we'd have them broken for anybody else.
Yeah, we wouldn't have anything for anybody else to come beat up, because she and I would have already done it. But reject the perfectionism ideology. There it is. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to get it perfect, but you can get it done. And it's
even if it's just getting up out of bed.
Very true.
That's getting something done.
Very true.
I mean,
because
there's some days.
Yeah,
when I get up out of bed, you can stay there. I can stay there.
I could do it a lot, and then I'm thinking, oh, that's not good for me. I'll get up in a minute. An hour later, I'm still laying there, and so it's
just doing that getting up that one time will help, and doing something, and you're getting something done.
And then the next day you get up and you can comb your hair. I mean, it's just one step at a time. And I know that we've had clients in here that have had different types of sicknesses and cancer, and I've watched these women and fight to overcome and to have a life, and I'm like, man, I want that. We don't see what we're doing, but you can look at someone else and go, wow, I want that. I want to be that. I want to have that kind of self-confidence or whatever. We can see it in others before we can see it in ourselves. But you are enough. And we need to live, authentically. That, be true to yourself, but speak truth to yourself. Don't, we bought a book years ago. It's called The Lies We Believe. And it's so true, because we live with all these lies inside of us that we believe about ourselves. One of those lies being we're not good enough. I can't do that. I can't do what they're doing. I can't be like that. And that's a lie. You may not do it like someone else does, but you can do it. And like Danae said, all you have to do is get out of the bed or out of the car or whatever it is. And, those little panic attacks I used to have, and occasionally still have large ones, they kept me in a car for fear of going into a grocery store. And I've had some of that recently.
Oh, there's been many times I've drove through the Walmart parking lot and just went back home.
I'm so thankful for the online ordering now.
Oh, it's terrible.
But so don't think you're out there alone with these thoughts and troubles and issues. I'm not trying to be your counselor or anything like that. I'm not judging you. I would never judge anybody. But surround yourself with as much positivity as you can. It's like I said, Nay and I we have several years under our belt with each other. Something like 17 of them. Yeah. So 16 and a half years. And, so we're there. She knows I'm here. And she's going to slap me around, vice versa. And then sometimes you just need that one person, that same person, that will just let you vent and get it out. And then they'll slap you and go, okay, that's enough pity party. You can have your pity party, but it can't last very long. And sometimes, when we start overthinking things, overthinking life, and we don't see how blessed we really are. And so get that support group, join Warrior Women. Let's lift other women up. And just, I have no idea how long we've been on, but I know Danae has to go get a haircut, do a haircut. So we're going to be wrapping up for our first podcast. I hope this recorded properly. If not, we'll do it again and we'll see what happens. But thank you for being here, watching us, listening to us. Just remember, you are enough. You are enough. Done, not perfect. And, let go of perfectionism. Done, not perfect. Yeah. You're not going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And remember to talk positives to yourself, not the negatives.
Even if it's a little positive.
Yeah.
Like, I got up today. That's one. Step one.
And sometimes I know I don't want to get up.
No.
So I'm going to ask y'all to start embracing your self-worth this week. Share your thoughts.
Get a notebook.
Get that notebook.
Hey,
anymore we have it on our phones,
Even talk Just record it. You know, say it and then delete it.
And if you have ideas for future episodes, or if you have something that you want to talk about it, or hey, if you even want to join us on a podcast.
Yep.
We will, as we grow this, we will have guest mystery speakers. I have a list of some I want to reach out to. And, you know, but we're here, we're all warriors. There's not one of us that hasn't gone through something in life and had to continue on. And that's, you know, the story continues. So our story is continuing. Your story is continuing. You are enough. So tell yourself you're enough. Write it down. Get out of bed. Go get that haircut done because I want to go have lunch. But I hope you enjoy this, and we will be back next Wednesday with another episode, and maybe we'll try to do the Mean Girls. Don't let the Mean Girls win. Another one that we have coming up is the imposter syndrome. Yeah. So a little more studying on that one. So anyway, thank you guys for listening.